and I'm back for another live. This is episode 2, and I just want to say a massive thank you to, I need to point to Pebbles. How do I point? Pebbles, I'm doing it the other way, for sponsoring this live. I've got Adam Smith behind the scenes right now. I've got Adam in the comments, but if you're on my live right now, please say hello. I will join you on my live and ask any questions as we go. Also, Pebbles Mortgages and Protection, I will put your website link on, and then if you want to check Adam out, please do. And I'm going to add Adam in now. Hey, Adam.
Hey.
How are you doing?
Doing great, yeah. How about you?
Yeah, good, thank you. It just feels so weird to be doing this on an evening, because I go to bed normally by 9 o'clock.
That's the thing, yeah, just the routine of it, but yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, good. Can I ask, do you go to bed early, and are you an early morning person as well?
Yeah, usually not mega early, about 10. Usually wake up about 6-ish. So I've tried the whole 5 a.m. club stuff before, and I just realised by about 1 p.m. I was yawning into my lunch, so it wasn't really worth it.
Oh, aren't you? I thought you'd be in the 5 a.m. crew in an ice bath.
No, that's not me. No, drinking kale smoothies and barking affirmations. No, it's not for me. That I don't want to yuck their yum or anything, but it's just I think that's the biggest misconception around self-development and around bettering yourself, that you have to get up at 5 and you have to do an ice bath and you have to do this, and no one has to do anything. But I also don't believe in sitting on your bed and scrolling for hours either. So I always get up and hit the physical state and go to the gym or go for a walk or make sure I hydrate first thing and have a healthy breakfast, write down my goals, that kind of stuff. But the other stuff, it's like a 1% thing or a 5% thing. I don't think it's a necessity for self-development or health to jump in an ice bath. And if you've never done it before either, and you get out and borderline hypothermia, it's not the one.
Yeah, not for me. I just want to say hello to Steve. I've got Lee on saying hello. I've got Ronan on, and Jo, because Jo's saying she was looking forward to it earlier. That's the thing, though. When it's a subject like what we're potentially talking about, it's quite niche, and I do think people are interested. They're curious, aren't they? I feel like more people. So I discovered you about a year and a half ago, and you were promoting going alcohol free. And at the time, for me, that's why I could relate to it, was I drank less alcohol. And then I've gone nearly a year. So February the 11th, to be exact, I've done a year as a challenge. I'm not saying I'll never drink again as such, but for me, it's been incredible. So you shared a few before and afters that I spotted, and some of your posts went viral because of that. It was being so open and honest. So tell me, go back to how this all started, your A-Game business.
Yeah, I mean, A-Game started about 3 years ago. The sort of, I guess, path to recovery, as it were. I don't mean recovery that I was an alcoholic, but something had to drastically change in my life. About 5 or 6 years ago, I hit my version of rock bottom. So my 4-year relationship ended. I lost 3 family members. I lost my job, all in the space of about 3 or 4 weeks. So that was really intense. Yeah, and the problem was, though, that most of those, not the deaths in the family, of course, but losing the job and losing the relationship was down to the habits. And I know that people say to me most days, that I work with, I've always struggled with anxiety, or I am just depressed. But I was really doing depressed through my habits and my behaviors. I wasn't going outside, drinking water, I wasn't eating healthily, I wasn't really spending time with loved ones. When I was scrolling on my phone, comparing myself, watching the news. I could go on, and I just got myself into a bit of a mess. And then all that stuff happened, and then here I am at 30, unemployed, single, overweight, drinking too much. I thought, this is not the blueprint that I had planned. I thought I'd be married, 2.4 children, and in a house by 32, and now I'm a million miles away from that. So that was really tough. And then later on in the year, I lost another family friend, and at his wake, I was like, I just need to end this now. So I drank about 10 pints and got in the car with every intention of crashing it. And I was going at about 100 miles an hour. I didn't want to hurt or anything like that. No one knew I was intoxicated because I was drinking so much at the time. 10 pints was like nothing, and I don't say that to it was mortifies me now, but as I was driving in the car, I went to go see my mum and dad before I left, and they thought everything was fine as well.
Yeah.
And I was literally hurtling towards something. I was like, either a bridge, a lamppost, anything. And literally, I just had a phone call that said Mum was calling on the screen. And that was it. As soon as I saw her name, it was like, oh shit, what am I doing? I sort of snapped out of it. And then I pressed answer. She's like, oh, you've left your wallet at home. Do you want me to drop it off for you? And as soon as I heard her voice, I just slammed down the brakes, car spun out of control. I just sat in a lay-by and just sobbed for hours. It was awful. I've never cried as much in my life. But that was sort of rock bottom for me. And I don't want to sound cheesy here, but I genuinely mean this. Like, rock bottom can be a fantastic foundation on which to build, because you can't get any worse. I knew this couldn't get any worse, and something had to change. So I just started bringing in like things to be grateful for. In that moment, I was thinking, how lucky am I that I've got my mum and dad still in my life, and they care about me, that my brother and his kids and his wife, and I've got friends, and I've got my health at least. And that was just an absolute pits of despair moment. And then lockdown was like the best thing that ever happened to me personally. I know it was shit for a lot of people, but we moved with my partner's parents. They've got a nice house, they've got a gym in it and stuff. So I was like, if I can't sort myself out in this environment, I've got no chance. So it was time to just hit the pause button and recalibrate. And in that sort of 6-month period, I was like, I took a break from alcohol. That lasted for a little bit, and now I'm nearly 3.5 years alcohol free. I'm still on that break. So lost about 28 kilos in weight.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm 6'4", so I'm a big guy, but I was 130 kilos at one point. So I was a big old unit, and I needed to sort that out. And then started my own coaching business, moved away from that, and then formed A Game with my 2 business partners at the time, who were both also called Adam, weirdly enough.
And then we've got Adam, who's just jumped on now, who's sponsoring tonight. Honestly, I'm getting confused. We've got Adam sponsoring, Adam the guest. Just want to say hello to Adam, Claudia, and Lisa. Thank you for coming on. My friend Lisa's not drinking in January, and she's on like a 90-day eating plan. Bless her. I'll do a shout out. She's stars on Police Interceptors.
Okay.
So she'll love that. And Adam, I made him not only sponsor this, but actually go dry January. So he's going to let us know in the comments how he is doing. But I feel like it's been a long 3 weeks. Has it, Adam? So when you thought, right, I need to sort myself out, did you have any coaching yourself, or did you just read it up and...
Yeah, I mean, I've studied self-development since I was about 18. So I'm a qualified personal trainer as well as a mindset coach, but that was in my sort of early 20s. So I knew what to do. I knew what to do in the gym. I knew how to eat healthily, and that drinking water was good for me, and yada, yada, yada. But, something just, again, had to shift drastically. So I was like, I need to just start small. And this is a message to anyone that is listening that might be struggling. You might not be at the same pits of despair that I was, but it is just a cliche, but it's true. You just have to get started. It's just something. Because I see a lot of people set these unbelievable goals, and people say, I want to run a marathon, and they can't even run 1K yet. What's the point? Just build up to it slowly. Can you go out for a walk? Can you do a 20-minute walk? Yeah, great. Tomorrow, can you do a 22-minute walk? Can you do a 25-minute walk? And then you start reverse engineering it. Can you run for 2 minutes without stopping? If you follow that path and you download the right apps and what have you, you will be running 5K within 30 to 40 days, perhaps. And then it could be a 10K in 90 days, because that's how the compound effect works.
Yeah. So and people get more confident when they see the improvements, don't they?
Yeah, 100%. And that's it. Because people say, what is happiness? And if I had that answer, I'd be a billionaire, right? But with all the people that I've worked with and all the studying that I have done, the one sentence I could put it down to is that progress equals happiness. If you don't feel like you're progressing in anything, whether that's spiritually, mentally, emotionally, financially, in your relationships, whatever, you're not going to be happy. So you want to create those little moments as much as you can, not this awe-inspiring proverbial gold medal goal, but again, it's like anything. You shared it earlier. Your son had a great parents' evening. It makes you feel good. He's progressing, so you feel good. If you hit a PB at the gym, you feel good. If you get a new client, you feel good. So we have to bring in these micro moments where you can feel good, which is only going to create more momentum going forward, as opposed to I want to run 10K, not being able to do it, and then hitting yourself with a shitty stick and saying, I'm such an idiot. Why did I even bother in the first place?
Yeah, that's so true. Adams actually wrote, it's been pretty good, to be fair, this dry January he's on about. I won't lie, there's been a couple of occasions where I would have usually had a whiskey. And I think he told me as well a few weeks ago that it wasn't until he thought he had a few drinks, but it wasn't until he counted the units, it actually works out more than you think when you just have an occasional drink. Doesn't mean you're an alcoholic or anything like that, but it's still not great when you add it up.
Yeah, it affects your performance ultimately, and that's the one thing. So I think from my side with the drinking, people say, "Oh, what's wrong with one drink once a week?" It's like, well, nothing's wrong with it, but what's right with it? Is it helping you? And if you are genuinely sat on the end of your bed in darkness, kind of happy, with your own thoughts, and it's just you, if you're genuinely content and you're only having one drink a week, fantastic. Like, just keep doing what you're doing, right? But generally speaking, people don't understand the knock-on effects. So it might be the compound effect of this. Let's say you have 2 whiskeys and one drink can affect your productivity and your sleep enormously. It destroys your REM cycle straight away. So you wake up the next day and you wake up a little bit foggy. Then the kids come in and start screaming. You're going, oh God, I'm stressed. And then you get to downstairs.
You watching me or something?
I didn't get my breakfast, and then you're stuck in traffic, and then you get to work and you tell people about the traffic, and then a client pisses you off, and then you just sat down all day and you're a bit like, oh God, my head's all over.
A negative, toxic day.
Yeah, and then you go home, kids are there screaming again, and then you go, oh, I need a drink. So the drink isn't curing the stress, it's causing the stress. And this is what I emphasize quite a lot. Like, I don't care what people do. I don't care if people drink a pint of vodka every day, because it makes no difference to my life, right? If I had the same information about what it actually physically does to my body and the impact it has on performance, I would have stopped 10 years ago. And that's not just in hindsight, it's just a fact. I would have done. But because most people just associate stopping drinking, boring. That's the first thing people do.
Yeah, they do. I got called boring loads.
Yeah, stopping drinking, no friends, no social life anymore. It's all just not true. And ultimately, the reason why I'll never drink again, and I do commit to that, is because it's just a liquid in a glass.
Yeah.
I'm a logical person. So if I can get a liquid that looks the same and I can get a liquid that tastes the same, but doesn't have the effect and turn me into a complete dick, then I'm going to stick with it, right? So I know that there's not necessarily a fantastic alcohol-free wine that I've come across or incredible whiskey alternatives. But again, it comes back to that little level of sacrifice to get towards the desired outcome, whatever that might be.
So Lisa DeSantis has asked, do you ever hit mental walls on your journey? So we're all human, and I do. Do you?
100%. Absolutely. And the key thing is, though, I don't live in it as much as I used to. So that's the difference. Now, a lot of the time, we're not really feeling our emotions. We're typically doing our emotions. So we've all got a different strategy, or what can be known as a recipe, for having these emotions. So if you think about it, when you're anxious, you have a strategy. You might not know what it is, but I see it all the time. People pick with their fingers, people rub their face, people play with their hair, people bang their knee, people pick labels off bottles and what have you, right? But so we're doing anxious, we're doing stressed, we do angry, or we do happy, and we do laughing. So I do feel all those emotions. I experience those emotions, but I don't do it for as long as I used to, is what I'll say.
Yeah, so keep getting better at it.
Yeah, I have to make sure I'm catching myself. And it's very key to look at the language we use, because so many people go, oh, it's been such a shit day. Like, has it been a shit day, or has it been a really shit moment that you've allowed to get into the shit day? Yeah, so the main thing that I would advise anybody, and again, I used to do this, but I don't anymore, we catastrophize and we make little molehills into mountains. But the question I'll ask you and anybody watching, if you were going on the motorway and you popped a tyre and you ran the
honestly, I did this after a networking event in Grantham, and I thought I'm never going there again.
So when you got out, you rang the AA.
Yeah.
When they come up, did you get out and pop the other 3 tyres?
Exactly. No, and I've seen that as a comment before. In fact, mine was a run flat tire, thank goodness, so I could drive it back, and I did poo my pants. I won't lie. You're right, you don't pop all the rest of them, do you? Because that'd be just crazy. I reckon Lisa's a nutter enough to do that.
That's the thing. We don't want to, again, look at the problem for what it is, not worse than it is. So
yes,
I get stressed. Yes, I get anxious about the business or health or family or whatever, like everybody does.
Yeah.
But knowing the strategy to sort of come out of it faster. That's all I would sort of touch on there. But yeah, you wouldn't slash the tires because it's ridiculous. And you go, well, exactly. No. We don't want to sort of think about what happened yesterday too much. Just give it the appropriate amount of attention. You don't want to get too focused on that meeting that you've got in a week, maybe. Oh, I'm so stressed, I've got to do a presentation.
Yeah.
Well, that's guaranteeing negativity and it's guaranteeing pain for the next week. So this is where meditation does help. It just allows you.
Talking about meditation. Right, listen to this, Adam. I was talking about meditation last night with my friend Lisa, who's watching, and she said your chakras are out. I was like, chakras? That is hilarious. And I read all about it. And I don't know, Adam, you probably laughing. My partner Steve, he was like, what the hell are you going on about chakras? And then we started listening to some music and it was going drum, drum, like meditation.
Yeah.
Do you believe in all that?
I don't not believe in it because I've never really done it extensively. So when people ask me that kind of thing, it's not like avoiding the question. I've not looked into it enough to say whether I believe it or not. But what I do think is, I don't believe in energy like shoving crystals up your ass. But what I do believe is like your physical energy like can be off. When you walk into a room, someone's just had an argument with someone because it's just tension in the air. Like
not everyone notices that tension, Not everyone can feel it. I feel anything. I can feel vibes. Not everyone can do that,
No, that's it. It is like a bit of a skill, right? But the meditation I do, it's not, sitting in my dressing gown singing Kumbaya. Yeah. But
it is. Tell me it is. You'll get more buyers.
So what I do, however, is just sit on the end of my bed, close my eyes, focus on my breath, and I use the Daily J on the Calm app. It's really good. It's like guided for 7 or 8 minutes of meditation. And you just focus in your mind and bring yourself back to the breath. And it does help. I know some people think it's a bit woo-woo and what have you, but there's so many studies around this about improving the quality of life and how you view the world and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So Steve's asked, the feeling of the results from something you achieve is short-lived. You have to embrace and enjoy the process. Are you good at celebrating your wins? Because I'm not, but are you, Adam?
Yeah, I love it. We used to play Giant by Calvin Harris, but replace the word giant with client every time. So we got a client, woo! And then we dance around the room and go fucking ape shit.
I love that.
Yeah. So
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So
we do that. We've whenever we break a record revenue month, we go to I love going to spas and stuff like that. So like a spa day last year. We had our record quarter, so we went to the Algarve for a few days, me and Adam. So we definitely celebrate our wins, but the thing I'm working on is not mourning the losses too harshly and taking it personally and worrying too much about the business. That's the difficult thing that I'm working on at the minute with my coach.
So quick question then, quick business breakdown. You started 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And you said, obviously, coming on LinkedIn's, you got your clients from LinkedIn, it's doubled your revenue. What sort of growth have you developed then? Have you got employees?
Yeah.
So you started off with you.
Yeah, year one. So we had 3 of us and we bought out the third Adam. He didn't want to be in the business anymore. So we just agreed in a settlement and he went his separate ways and no hard feelings. It was fine. Then it was just Adam and I, and we just went at it hard on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Every client we have is either inbound or referred.
Yeah.
So we don't do really any paid ads or sales navigator or cold messages. We'll only message people that view my profile, or I'll message them if they follow me or if they connect with me. 99% of the time you don't get a response, which is quite odd given that they followed you. And it's not a message either. It's just, Steve, thanks for connecting with me, mate. If you've got any questions around X, Y, or Z, let me know, whatever. But it doesn't matter. I'm not precious about that. But it all changed when we signed up our sort of first client on LinkedIn, because before we were very much using Instagram and Facebook as our marketing tools. So it wasn't that we couldn't do high ticket on there because we had a little bit of a dabble in it, but when we came on LinkedIn, we're like, this is where our ideal client is: CEO or business owner, basically a high performer. A high performer in my mind, you don't have to be a CEO, just anyone that wants to better themselves.
Yeah, I agree.
Best version of themselves. That's a high performer to me. But and we did it in our first client we landed was like a $2.5 grand package. Yeah, pay straight away. We're like, what the hell? That was so easy. And there's no effort involved. So it's just post. We do the same call to action on every post pretty much, which is message me with the word ready if you want our help. And then say ready, we start a conversation.
What could I say on mine then? Message me with the word numbers.
Yeah, anything, yeah. Or the song we were dancing to earlier, the apple bottom jeans, get them to message you that.
Apple bottom jeans. Who wore apple bottom jeans, boots with a fur? Come on.
Can't get a better DM than that. So, but yeah, you just want something that will like break people out of the normal day-to-day stuff. And people might say it's like an aggressive call to action. It's not. If you're in pain and you feel like shit, you need a haircut and I've got the pair of scissors. That's as simple as it needs to be. So people try to convolute things on, you have to do this, you have to do that. People do need to trust what you're saying. You need to have expertise behind you, but they need to trust you more than they like you. I trust my accountant. We don't get on incredibly well, for example. But I trust him. Yeah. Yeah.
The honor.
Yeah. So, but I think that the problems we deal with are a lot more personal. So we don't use like snake oil sales tactics. We're just very upfront with people. When they reach out, we ask them what the pain points are. They elicit them. We tell them what our prices are as a starting point.
So simple.
They afford it. If they can, we get on a call, we open up, and then we say, we recommend this package for you. Do you want it or do you not? And then some people will say, can I talk to my wife? It's always, can I talk to the wife, by the way. I've never heard one woman say, can I talk to my husband, ever.
That's hilarious. Is that like a stopgap for a bit?
Yeah, it's just a deflection tactic. So I always say, listen, that's absolutely fine. What if your wife says no? And then there's just like this awkward pause. And they're like, well, no. Well, what is it? Because you said you need to speak to her. So are you asking for permission or are you just informing her? Because you didn't ask your wife to book the call, I'm assuming. You didn't ask her to fill the form out. You didn't ask the wife to send a DM. So
you're going to cause divorces here.
Yeah. I was like, so what I think is really happening, unfortunately, is the price is too much, or you're not ready, or you might not like me. And I'm okay with either of those three.
Yeah.
But no, you'll hear from me. I said, look, respectfully, I don't think I will, and that's fine. I'm not going to hold you with a closed fist. I'm going to hold you with an open palm. If you want to go away and think about it, you will come back to me. And if you don't, I'm okay with that, because then it stops you chasing and it stops you looking desperate and just bumping this up and just following up and all that nonsense. And you waste so much time and energy hoping, because there's no party until that money has hit the bank.
I know, that's what I'm like. I don't believe it until I know they've signed the direct debit. But you have to be more direct in business and get to the point, because it's so much dilly-dallying. Good questions coming through, and good evening to Ali. Lisa's asked a good question, actually. How do you deal with friends who are negative? So I know you've spoke about it on your post, Adam, getting away from toxic people. I've spoke about it. It's done me the world of good. What would you say to Lisa on that one?
It's a difficult one, really. Are they a negative person or is it a negative behavior? We have to separate the person from the behavior, and they might be going through a bit of a shit time. With that being said, it's taken away from, going back to the word energy, right? But it's taking your energy out from you. And if you're hanging around with people that are just battery drainers, not battery chargers, and you come back from the exchange and you're like, oh my God, this is so draining, they're probably not necessarily aligned. Doesn't mean they're bad people. It's just, do you want to hang around with them? So putting in a healthy boundary, distancing yourself short term is a solution for me. But how do I deal with them? I don't deal with them. I'm not interested. They're not for me, those kind of people. So I've had plenty of those situations in my life before, and it just doesn't serve me at all. So, I have probably 5 or 6 close friends, and then I have acquaintances and associates and what have you. But there's something that Mayhew told me around the alcohol-free stuff. He said, it's called the coffee test. And this genuinely ruined about 10 friendships for me. So he said, they're not your friend unless you can go to Cafe Nero, for sake of argument, at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday morning and talk to them about your relationship or how you're really feeling. And I was like, oh shit. All my friends at the time were, it's talking about girls, pints, and football, and that was about it.
Yeah.
So now I'm talking about real stuff, and not everything needs to be deep and self-development conversation, of course. But if shit did hit the fan and my partner and I broke up for argument's sake, could I ring them and say, can you come round? I go to the house. So the pool of people just started to do that. And if you open up your phone and you look at the last 10 people you've messaged, this will average out how you view the world. It really will. So if you've got 2 or 3 people that are quite negative and you go, I've got a negative tendency in me, how do I deal with that? Equally, don't use your friends for the wrong purpose, meaning that I've got a friend that's like the fun time Frankie. If I want to have a good time, I go around to see this guy. But he's not capable of talking about real stuff and emotions. Doesn't mean he's not a good person, though, because I have a great time with him still. But I'm not going to go for that reason. I've got another friend that I talk pretty much just about business around and goals. But I'm not going to go to him for the fun times. He's not capable of that. The same way I'm not capable of certain things for them. So I wouldn't pigeonhole everybody and just say they're a bad person or they're negative. But I would definitely be mindful over who I'm surrounding myself with, because it is true. Who you surround yourself with is who you'll become. And that is
so true. I love a deep convo. I love coming away from a conversation with friends that lift my spirits and give me, they encourage me to do more, be better, and I actually inspire to be like, if that makes sense. Right, another question from Adam. How did you change your behaviour when you stopped drinking, Adam? Fran and I had a chat the other day. I've attended a few events where I normally would drink and I stayed dry, but found them much harder to feel comfortable with multiple drunk people. Trying to hold conversations was exhausting. How did you find this environment, or do you just not go in it?
No, I do go in it, but it's knowing when to leave the party. So again, the first thing is habit hacking. So a lot of the time with the alcohol, it's just a placebo. Your brain doesn't register it's actually consuming alcohol for around 4 to 5 minutes. So that buzz is completely false, and it's just a complete attachment to doing that. It's probably the fact it's a refreshing drink, and you go, but in your brain now you've gone, oh, it's because of the alcohol. It's not. After a while, though, you will start to develop false confidence. So socializing is just like any skill. It can be developed over time. There's plenty of books out there. There's plenty of things you can do to, become more sociable, but you will just get better at it. I'm sure if you started to learn the piano, you won't be very good at that when you first started either. Great point by Adam as well, by the way. 9:30. Yeah, that's it. Know when to leave. That's one of the biggest things I'll say is know when to exit.
I don't mind. Be confident in leaving early.
Yeah, just do it. No one's going to care, or no one's going to know. So when people start bumping into me or repeating themselves, I'm gone. That's it. I'm done. So, and it's not about saying no to them. It's about saying yes to them. I'm not rejecting anything. I'm choosing me. It's very different. So I still socialize. I still go out. Do I go out till 2 a.m? Absolutely not, because I've got goals now and it doesn't align with me anymore. But it can be done. But I'd just say just be patient and just give it time, because every step takes time.
Oh, I love that. Quickly. So I've got my High Rocks event this weekend and I struggle. So I get the adrenaline buzz days before I even get there, because I'm thinking about it. I really want a PB. I get overexcited. Is that just normal, or is there a way of toning that down? Because it's exhausting.
Yeah, I can imagine. And the reason why it sounds exhausting is because you've labeled it as I struggle with. So, if it's I struggle with anxiety, a struggle is a great fight from a restraint. So if I am imagining in my mind, the label now is struggle. So when you have the, which is really essentially cortisol, that's all it is, but you've labeled it as anxiety. So I struggle with anxiety. So I, as in you, struggle. This is a real big fight for me with an object which is labeled as anxiety. What's happening chemically is you're feeling really overwhelmed. And it's probably the fact that you're doing it, and you're probably doing this, or you're probably like, whatever it might be. So there's a few things that I do here, which essentially is just literally just take a breath, just pause. When we're anxious, we tend to breathe through our mouth. We don't breathe through our nose, because we talk like this and we start getting more agitated, as opposed to just saying, hang on a second. Neurologically, scientifically, that does slow your breath down. We can fight it.
I've done that.
If you spoke, why did paramedics give you a brown paper bag to breathe into? It's a tool.
Be sick.
It doesn't help you breathe, does it? A bag. How can a bag help you breathe? But it's a little tool, a little trick on your mind to slow you down, right? So
I need
that's
to do
all.
some more meditating.
Correct. Then,
Yeah.
but also, not just meditation, but just general mindfulness and a bit more solitude. When you are in the queue at Starbucks, don't be picking up your phone. When you're in traffic, sometimes just turn the radio off or the podcast off and just sit for 10, 15 minutes in silence with your thoughts. If you find yourself remunerating around going, oh my God, pause again.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, whenever you get a thought, and again, this is a really helpful framework for anybody. It's it's my own sort of version of what Byron Katie did from a book called Loving What Is. It's a fantastic book, by the way. But when you have a thought, so I'm really anxious about this, I'm going to screw it up. What if I fall over? Da 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 da. Hang on. Number one, is it true? Well, no, I'm not a complete idiot. Let's say people are really down on themselves, for example. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm always going to be alone. Hang on a second. Is that true? And you might go, yeah, it's true, when you're really hard on yourself. The second question, can I say with 100% certainty that this is true? No. Okay, it's not true. Great. So the thought actually isn't true. It's just a thought. We have 2,000 thoughts an hour, so we need to make it a nice place to live. So that's the first thing. Then number 3, who would I be without this thought? I'd be more confident. I'd be happier. I'd be more relaxed. I'd show up in my relationships a lot better. That's for sure. Cool.
Yeah.
Number 4, what's a more helpful thought? And by the way, you can miss out 1 to 3 sometimes and just say, what's a more helpful thought? It's not false positivity. False positivity is saying I'm beautiful and amazing when you don't feel beautiful and amazing.
Yeah.
Or false positivity is it's going to be really sunny in January and
it'll be all right.
Yeah, and it's not. But instead, just
don't worry.
Exactly. Yeah, don't worry. It's like a double negative, right? It's like don't think of an elephant. And in the reticular activating system in the brain, saying don't worry is just going to cause more worry. Instead, I want to be more relaxed.
Yeah.
I don't want to worry about this. I want to be more relaxed. Start associating positivity to the desired outcome as opposed to negativity about it, because you're just going to get more of it.
Yeah. No, I appreciate that. Right, we need to wrap up. I didn't realise the time's gone over. It's been brilliant. And I hope loads of people have took from this, because I know people are watching it after a few people have messaged, and the comments will keep rolling. So if you've got a comment after the live and you're watching it on catch up, say you're on catch up and give us a comment and we will reply. I just want to say massive thank you to Adam. Thanks to Adam the guest and Adam the sponsor. And I'm going to end the stream now and then just wait on Adam so I can say goodbye to you properly. Awesome. Lisa said thanks. She really enjoyed it. So thanks for watching, guys.
Awesome. Cheers, guys.
Right, end the stream.